Hello everyone. In the last video, we discussed basic signals. Now, up till now, we have studied about what are the basic signals, what are the different type of transformations on independent variable and dependent variable that can be applied on a signal. Now, we are going to discuss the classification of signals. So, earlier we discussed the classification of signals. We discussed based upon the nature of independent and dependent variables. Now, it is based upon the signal properties, how the signals can be classified. What I mean by that, any continuous time signal or a discrete time signal can be classified further into different categories based upon their properties. So in that, the first category in which any signal can be classified is causal or non-causal signals. Causal or non-causal signal. So how we define that? Any continuous time signal xt is said to be causal if it is 0 for t less than 0. That is, any signal xt, if it is 0 for t less than 0, it is known as a causal signal. And if any signal exists for t less than 0, means it is not 0 for t less than 0. It might exist at some -2, -3, -1, any value, not necessary to be at minus infinite. But if it exists for t less than 0, then we call that signal as non-causal. And there is another term being used is anti-causal. That are those signals which are 0 for t greater than 0. So such type of signals are known as anti-causal. Although non-causal signal, anti-causal signals can also be known as the non-causal signals because they exist for t less than 0, right? But there is another term being used when it is specifically 0 for t greater than 0, we call them as anti-causal. Now, for example, if we take the different type of signals, like if we say u xt is u of t minus 2. Now, which type of signal this will be? Now, if we sketch that, this signal will look like this. It will start from 2. So, in that case, this signal will become a causal signal. And suppose the signal is xt equals to u of t plus 2. Now, in this case, the signal will start from -2. So in that case, the signal will become a non-causal. And at the same time, if the signal is say xt equals to u of minus t. Now what is this? If we sketch that, it will be like that, right? Just the reversal of ut. So in this case, the signal is 0 for t greater than 0. So this signal is anti-causal. We can call this also as non-causal also, but the another name, another specific term we can use for this is anti-causal. So this is that how we can classify any signal into causal or non-causal. Now, same thing is valid or true if it is a discrete time signal. That is, xn is 0 for n less than 0. This will be called as causal. And if xn is exists for t less than 0, it will be non-causal. And xn is 0 for t greater than 0, this will be anti-causal. So that is the how we can classify any continuous time or discrete time signal into causal or non-causal signals. So that is the first classification of any signals. So this can be any signal. Remember that. Like if I take another example, xt equals to e raised to power 2t. Now what is this? Real exponential signal. It will be something like this, growing. Now it exists for both negative as well as positive duration of time. So this is non-pause. But if at the same time xt is e raised to power 2t ut minus 1, then what will happen? This signal is product of e raised to power 2t this, ut minus 1 is this. If you multiply this signal, it will at t equal to 1, this will be having some value e raised to power 2. After that, it will be growing exponential, because 1 into growing exponential. So that will be this. Now this signal is existing only for positive values of time. It is 0 for t less than 0. So this signal is causal. So that is how we determine any signal is causal or non-causal. Just we have to see whether in which duration of time it is existing, whether it is existing for t greater than 0 or both or less than 0. Accordingly, we say signal is causal, non-causal or anti-causal. All right. Now the next classification, we move to the next classification of signals. Any continuous time or discrete time signal can be classified into even or odd signals. Even and odd signals. So again, any continuous time or discrete time signal can be said as either even or odd, or there can be a signal which is neither even nor odd. Right? So there are three types of signals. It can be either even or odd, or it can be none. It cannot be both. It cannot be both even and odd, but it can be none. It can be neither even nor odd. Now what we mean by that? So any signal, if it is symmetric about the y-axis, that is its mirror image is similar across the y-axis, then we say it is even signal. And if it is anti-symmetric, then we call it as odd signal. Mathematically, we say if a signal xt is equals to x of minus t, it is even signal. And if xt is equals to minus of x of minus t, that is antisymmetric, it is odd signal. Same is true for discrete time. That is if xn is equals to x of minus n, it is even. If xn is minus of x of minus n, it is odd. Now, graphically, if we look at the sum of the examples, now this signal, if you look at, if you do the reversal of this xt, obtain its x of minus t, you will get the same signal. Graphically also it is visible that it is symmetric across the y-axis, so this is a even signal. There can be any other examples also. Like this, it is also even, symmetric, even signal. This is also even, if you see that, right? If you fold it, it will come like this will go like that. Then the reversal will be xt will be same as x of minus t. So all these three signals are examples of even signal. Now if we say odd, if you see this is anti-symmetric, right? So this is odd signal. Mathematically also, if you obtain the reversal of this x of minus t, right? If you sketch that, you would see xt would be equal to minus of x of minus. This will be the example of odd signal, right? But as I said, there can be another signals which is neither even nor odd. Like if I say the signal is graphically this type. Now if you say it is neither symmetric across y-axis, neither it is anti-symmetric. Anti-symmetric means that this opposite quadrants it would be same. Symmetric means in this adjacent quadrant it would be same. But it is not that. So it is not symmetric or neither anti-symmetric. So this is neither even nor odd. So any signal can be either even signal or odd signal, or it can be neither even nor odd. This is graphically we can see. Mathematically we need to check this. Okay, we will take up examples to understand that even and odd signal. But when any signal is neither even or neither nor odd, but it can be viewed as a combination of even and odd. That what I mean by that. Suppose there is any signal xt which is neither even nor odd, but it can be written as a combination of some even component in it and some odd component. How we can evaluate that? What is the even component and what is the odd component in any signal? That we can easily evaluate. What would be x of minus t? Like this. Now because this is even, from this property xe of minus t would be same as xe of t, because it is even, and xo of minus t would be equal to minus of x of t, because it is odd from that property. Now if we add these two, what will happen? It will give me 2 times xe t. So on adding the equation number 1 and 2, we get this. So xe of t would be 1 by 2 xt plus x of minus t. Now if we subtract equation number 2 from 1, we can easily, what we will get? Equation 1 minus 2, it will give me xt minus of x of minus t would give me 2 times x ot. So x ot would be 1 by 2 xt minus x of minus t. So it means if there is any signal xt which is neither even nor odd, we can find out what are its even component using this equation and what are odd components. So what we have to do, we have to, for the given signal xt, we have to obtain x of minus t, add them, divide by the 2, we get even component. If we subtract this, divide by 2, we get the odd component. So there are, like, the questions can be simple, that for a given signal determine whether this is even or odd. So we check if it satisfies this condition, it is even. If it satisfies this condition, it is odd. If it does not satisfy any of the condition, it is neither even nor odd. Then the question might be that if it is neither even nor odd, determine its even and odd components. So that we can determine using these two equations. So we will just take up these questions based upon this. Let us take first the properties of even and odd signal. So let us discuss the properties first, then we will take up the numerical to understand how to determine whether the signal is even or odd, or determine its even or odd components. So if we determine the properties, the first property says the product of two even signals, even signal and even signal, will be another even signal. Product of two odd signals will be even signal, and a product of even and odd signal will give me odd signal. So these properties we will be required whenever we will be doing the analysis of signal and system. Then this would be required, these first three properties, right? Fourth property, we can say if xt is even signal, if xt is even signal, then integral minus infinity to infinity xt dt can be written as 2 times 0 to infinity xt dt. This we can easily prove by using the basic concept of mathematics integral. Split this integral into two parts, minus infinity to 0 and 0 to infinity. Apply the property of even signal and we will get. And if xt is odd, then integral minus infinity to infinity xt dt will be equal to 0. So this, firstly we are writing the properties for continuous time, but in the discrete time, these first three properties would be same, right? This properties we will, what will be there? Here it is in continuous time, so we are integral. But in discrete time, this will become summation, right? So we will take up that properties for discrete time later on, but first we can write just for continuous time the properties. So that is the fourth property. Fifth property in case of continuous time is we can say the derivative of even signal is an odd signal and vice versa. That is, that if even signal is there, then if we do the derivative of this, if xt is even, then resultant would be odd. If xt is odd, the resultant would be even. So we can say the derivative of xt, if xt is even, then derivative of xt is odd, and if xt is odd, then the derivative is even, right? So that is the another property of continuous times even or odd signal. Next property, if the signal is neither even nor odd, then integral x square t dt, this will be equals to integral minus infinity to infinity x e square t dt plus minus infinity to infinity x o square t. Now how we have obtained this? This is again put xt equals to x et plus x ot, combination of even and odd. So that a plus b whole square will become a square plus b square plus 2a. We can split that integral into three components: a square, that is even component square, b square, now plus 2ab. AB will be xet into xot, that is even into odd, and even into odd, as we discussed earlier in the property, that would be odd. Then again we discussed in fourth property that if odd signal is there, its integral from minus infinity to infinity will be 0. So ultimately we will be left with this one, right? So these are the certain properties which we will be utilizing later on when we will be analyzing the signals and the systems. Now, first, in case of discrete time, what are the properties? The first three properties remains the same. That is, even into even signal is even, odd into odd signal is even, odd into even signal is odd, right? Now the fourth property, where we have said integral from minus infinity to infinity is 2 times integral of xt from 0 to infinity if it is even, and it is 0 if it is odd. But in case of discrete time, that integral changes to summation. So that says if summation of xn from minus infinity to infinity, it is equivalent to same thing, integral from minus infinity to infinity of xdt. That is what we have studied before. This was, if it was even, this was giving me 2 times. So on the same line, this would be x of 0 plus sigma n equals to 1 to infinity xn. Now, here it is not exactly the same as this. Why? That is the, here what we have said 2 times 0 to, but here we have said value at x0 separately plus, sorry, this is 2 times. 2 times n equals to 1 to infinity times sigma. The reason is because this is discrete, then what will be the signal look like? It will be having at x0 some value, say 1, 2 at 1, at minus 1, 2, minus 2, 1, 2, 1. So this is even. If you do the symmetry, right? Now, if you add that, what will be the magnitude of this? 1 plus 2 plus 1 plus 2 plus 1. That is this, right? But, and if you see this x0, this is coming only one time, so it is not coming 2 times. So that is why it is not multiplied by 2. It is taken as single. Of these two values, 2 is coming 2 times, 1 is coming as 2 times because of even symmetry. So that is why if I see the right hand side, what it will be x0 1 plus 2 times 2 plus 1. So if you see the answer, this is 7, 3 into 2 6 plus 1 7. So here, because of discrete nature, this value at 0 is to be added only one time, not double. But this is because of the continuous in nature, we have to take into consideration. So that is why this is directly 2 times. So in discrete, this is a change. So that we have to see carefully. But if it is odd, then the property is similar. If it is odd, then sigma this would be 0, and this is when if xl is right. So that is the change, one change of property in continuous time and discrete time. Otherwise, the other properties are similar. Now, let us take some of the questions to understand this. Like the question might be, determine whether the given signal is even or odd. Suppose the signal is if xt equals to e raised to power minus 3. So determine whether this is even or odd. So first I will determine x of minus t. This will become e raised to power 3t. I will determine minus of x of minus t. It will be minus e raised to power 3t. Now if we check xt is not equals to this, also xt is not equals to minus of x of minus t. So in that case, this signal is neither even nor odd. This is mathematically how we check. But if you can see this graphically also. If I see this graphically, e raised to minus 3t is real exponential. Alpha is less than 0, so it will be decaying exponential signal. This thing, if I sketch this xt, now it is clearly visible. It is neither symmetric nor anti-symmetric. Right? So we can graphically also see that this signal is neither even nor odd. Now at the same time, the question might be determine its even and odd components. If it is neither even nor odd, then what we will do? What would be even component? X et would be 1 by 2 x of t plus x of minus t. So x of t is this, x of minus t is this. So that becomes 1 by 2. So that is the even component in this signal. And same way odd, that is the odd component in this signal, right? So that this signal xt equal to e to minus 3t, even component is this, odd is this, and the type of signal is neither even nor. So like this we can do the different analysis that whether the signal is even or odd. Let us now take a question on discrete time signal, one question, so that we can understand that. So for discrete time, let us take a similar example. Suppose the signal xn is this. Now we have to check whether it is even or odd. So same way, if we obtain x of minus n, if you see, it will be reversed. So whatever is 1 will go at minus 1, whatever is minus 1 will go at 1. So it will come out to be same. So we can easily see xn of x is equals to x of minus. So this signal is even. But if suppose this signal is this, and now if I reverse it, what it will be? This 4 will come at from 1 minus 1. This one will go at minus 2, and minus 4 will come at plus 1. Minus 1 will come at plus. Now if you compare these two, xn is simply minus of x minus n. Minus of x of minus n, what it means? It is that each value of this will be multiplied by a constant minus 1. So if I multiply this, this will become minus 1. This will become minus 4. Right? And this, what it will happen is, but whether it is same or not, what will be happening in this place? And this will be minus 4. This will be minus 1. Now what will be there? Whether it is even or odd. But this is not true. That we have to be sure. Why? If you multiply this with minus 1, this will be minus 3, but this is 3. So that will not happen. So generally, that are sometimes confusing questions. But if instead of 3, it would have been 0, then this xn would have been equal to minus of x. Then this would become odd. So that we have to be very careful that whether this is really equal or not. Then we have to check each value. Right? So multiplying with minus 1, this will minus 1 will become minus 1, same as this. This 4 will become minus 4, same as this. This 0 multiplied with minus 1, this remains 0, same as this. Minus 4 will become 4, minus 1 will become. So now they are equal. If instead of this, there is something else that is not an odd signal, that we have to be very sure in case of discrete. There are certain things which in discrete we have to be careful. Same way, like we have done a question that when the signal was neither even nor odd. Let us take this. Suppose the xn is this thing. Now it is clearly visible that if we reverse it, on this side there are 2 values, on this side there are 3 values, it cannot be symmetric. And similarly, it cannot be anti-symmetric. So now if this is the question, this we can clearly see, on this side there are 2 values, there are 3, so it cannot be symmetric or neither anti-symmetric. So this is neither even nor odd. But we have to determine its even and odd component. Let us see that. What would be x of minus n? That would be 1, 2, minus 3, 0, 4, 1. As we have done transformation on independent variable, from that you can easily obtain this. Just reverse this. Right? We have to reverse this, not the magnitude. Remember that. Magnitude remains same, 4, 4, 1, 1. We are not multiplying with minus right now. It is same. So what would be even component? 1 by 2 xn plus x of minus n by 2. Now when you add, that you have to be very careful in discrete time, that you add the corresponding instants. That is, again we have studied in transformation on dependent variable, that each corresponding instants values are added. So when I add, if you see, what will be this case? This is at minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. This is at minus 1, minus 2. So at minus 3, this value is 0. This is 1. So 0 plus 1. Then 1, then this is at minus 2, this is at minus 2. So 2 plus 1. This is minus 3 plus 4. And 0 plus 0. Then 4 minus 3. 1 plus 2. And again this is 0, but this is 1 at 2. So if we do that, this will become 1 by 2, 1, 3, 1, 0, 1, 3, 1. This would be 0. That we have to be sure that 0 point is. Now you can easily see this is symmetric. Whatsoever is at value at 1, that is same at minus 1. Whatsoever is at 2, that is at minus 2. Whatsoever is 3, that is at minus. So this is even. That is what we wanted. So that is easily visible. Same way, if I do odd component, it would be 1 by 2 x of n minus x of minus. So if we obtain that, this would be 0 minus 1. So I am just adding that answer. So now you can easily see this is anti-symmetry. At minus 1, this is 7. So at plus 1, this is minus 7. At minus 2, this is minus 1. At 2, this is 1. At -3, this is -1. This is 1. So they are anti-symmetric. So that is what is the odd component. So like this, we can determine any signal whether it is even or odd. If it is neither even nor odd, then what are its even components and what are its odd components. So that's it. We will stop over here. We will discuss the other two classifications, that is energy and power and periodic signal, in the next video. Okay, thank you.